Hello, YouTube. We are back with more commentary for you all. This is a continuation of our last EX-5 locals over at Sully's Abode, which is the local shop that we go to every Thursday, located in Bolingbrook, Illinois. So for those of you in the Chicagoland area and play digi and want a spot to play with some nice, chill, good-looking people, every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. we're there. I'm joined tonight by Arby, who's filling in for TJ while he's enjoying himself at the Texabu hideout over in Japan.
He's finding those Texabus and Godzillas.
But in this matchup, we've got Gabe playing the new Leopardmon variant that he's cooked up on the left. And we've got a new Digimon player in AJ. The store manager over at Sully's kind of delving into some digi, playing Beelstar over on the right. So it was great to have you, AJ. First locals, and first time on cam. So should be a good one.
He played it really well. He missed less triggers than I did. Which is
and honestly too, kudos to him, because Beelstar I feel like is not necessarily a deck you jump right into right away. It's a deck that does take a little bit of time and thought to it. So I think he did it really well for the first time.
Yeah, it definitely takes a while to understand, what you need to do.
Yeah, as you will see in an upcoming video where my monkey brain tries to play this deck. But that being said, we do have our socials linked in a link tree down below. As said in our previous videos, we have our Twitter, our Instagram, our Discord, our TCG Player affiliate, as well as our YouTube membership. Our Discord is where we're doing a lot of communicating with everybody regarding new releases, deck building. We're going to be doing a lot of communication regarding our box tournament, which will be happening in about a month from now. We will finalize details soon, but we want to make sure we get it post-ban list so that it's not a sausage fest of apocalypse running around. But yeah, so, if you haven't checked those out, please feel free to do so. Hopefully you guys enjoy this match. And without further ado, let's hop right into the round here.
All right.
Oh man, I'm loving those sleeves by AJ too.
Yeah, the sleeves are really nice.
But I'm interested to see how Gabe's leopard build is. Huh?
He's talking about his deck sleeves or his egg sleeves?
Both. Both. Because Mirai about to hit my wallet real hard come EX6.
Oh my god, being revealed.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what Gabe's cooking with Leopard. Leopard's been a deck I've always been it sounds real nice and it plays real nice, but it's always needed that little extra oomph, and it's gotten some more and more support, as sets have gone on, and unfortunately here we see Gabe have to just hard play.
It's not so bad, because AJ does have to, spend a resource. Still has a level 5 in back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just letting him know that the delay only happens when it's trashed from the top of your deck and not when it's cast. And then AJ is also forced to give Gabe a lot of memory. It looks like he's a little stuck.
So we see Gabe able to promote and then go straight into a Leopardmon in the back.
Goes into the leopard.
Yep, goes into the leopard.
You can play a Digimon for a reduced cost of, I believe, 4. So plays a carrier for free.
Goes a carrier for free.
Goes into an agility training to find another piece, and then
decides to just do it again.
Yeah, so just go again.
And picks up a lot of these cards. I'll be honest, I have to look up because I'm like, man, I don't know what that little motherfucker is.
I don't see them played a whole lot.
Oh man, AJ going ahead, just straight up Beelstar again, popping.
Yeah, it looks like he's a little bricky. I think I see a Death X in his hand.
Mm-hmm. I remember watching this match. So just as a forewarning for everybody tuning in right now, both players were bricking real hard. So we're gonna see a lot of just here, take this. Here, take that.
Looks like Gabe plays, I think, Namakemon, which lets him search for, I believe, a beast. Decides to grab, I don't remember what this Digimon's called.
Mihirimon, I think.
Mihirimon, yeah, which should let him on play. I don't think it's on digivolving. I think it lets him suspend something on play.
I believe so, yeah. So then we see Gabe Evo into Banwu.
Banwu.
Which will then suspend both guys and not allow them to restand.
He can. I think it's just one.
Oh, it's just one. Yeah, it's just one.
One, and then that Digimon can't restand, and then he'll use the Grand Assault to suspend, and
bottom deck. Fair enough. So yes, it was Mihirimon, and it is, you're right, it was an on-play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with 7k DP or less, then until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon doesn't unsuspend.
Yep.
And we see AJ go ahead and Kakaitis the Abanwu, which he forgot about the Ace Overflow mechanic, which pushed him back to turn, and he's like, well, I can't do anything, so just decides to pass.
Just do it again.
Do it again. Terrier swings into a Gabu X.
Yeah, and that's the problem with Beelstar when it breaks, is sometimes you're just forced to pass because you just.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
Please don't have any plays. You don't want to give your opponent 7 memory to put a Terriermon back in there.
We see Gabe, because he's missing pieces as well, just hard plays the Abanwu, which again does not allow the Garurumon X to unsuspend.
Yep.
And I think AJ's just clarifying effects. So like, yeah, it goes into the Guru. Will be able to draw one, pitch one, but forgets to draw. I think drew for the Evo.
Yeah, he drew for the Evo.
Decides to pitch the Protoform.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things in Digimon is learning
mechanics.
Learning is the draw one Digivolve is something I see a lot of new players struggle with, because like no other card game lets you just free cycle through your deck. And
like we like Digimon players like make a meme out of it, like draw for turn. Like don't be that idiot who doesn't draw for turn. But it's like, you're right. Like no other game allows you to do that except for ours.
Yeah. So we see AJ swing with the Gabu. He lives his 2K versus that tiny little Salmon. And
then decides to pass. Here we talked about it after. So AJ plays a lot of like Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, and whatnot. Like sometimes, like I see where he's coming from, the mindset of just like keep my bodies on board so that I can like go for later. But I feel like with Beelstar and like this particular scenario, I feel personally, and maybe you feel differently, just like swing. Like if they live, great, you can swing again next turn. But if they die, then they die.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like there's a need to keep these bodies in particular on board.
I think I agree with you, especially when I think he has no, I think it's just a Gazimon. There's not really a way for him to draw a card right now, so it is a little unfortunate. But yeah, it's
especially a lot of when you have things with like Ebonwu come out, and now those bodies are pretty much null and void too.
Yeah, a lot of other card games don't really have the same thing, and then we see Gabe here just clearing board. Digimon has a lot of ways to clear board pretty efficiently. So like leaving things on board, as opposed to like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh to threaten your opponents, and not attack with them is a little more of it's a Digimon thing to just get rid of them. Sometimes you just don't want anything on board. And then we see AJ use the Howling
Crusher
to just get rid of all the sources underneath the Leopard.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting concept too. Like the more I start delving into other card games, I'm like, yeah, like Digimon is a very like, the bodies don't stick as much as you think they would do. Like not only are we like able to like clear board, we also like utilize our cards a lot more, I feel like, than other card games do. Like with like Jawgress, with like Alliance now too. Like we're like, everything's fair game.
Yeah, everything does something. like cards on board are very threatening, but you have to know like which matchups where you can't leave things on board, where you need to take take the advantage. I think AJ was playing it fine, because he just didn't really have a whole lot to do.
Yeah. And here we see Gabe just sort of like wideboard to be like, look, like you can get rid of my bodies, but I'm just gonna wideboard and like just chip you down, which is fair. Here's where I think like Gabe's matchup knowledge comes into play, where he knows that like Beelstar doesn't have a way to efficiently get rid of level 6s and up, so he's got wideboarding with both low end. Unless you find that one of Gewalt Schwarmer.
Oh my god, yeah.
But we do see a Death X come into play. It would have cost 4, 3. It would cost 8.
8, yeah.
It does get rid of the Toga, which unfortunately is a little like too little too late because there's 4 bodies on board right now.
Yeah.
We can Alliance for 2 checks, which just sort of seals the deal. No Gewalt. And no other removal options. So kind of living on a prayer with this last security check.
Yeah. He needs this to be some form of removal in order for him to
live a turn.
Live one more turn, but I think that Gabe just plays it. I'm not sure. He played it for 7, the Leopard. Yeah, I think he just plays the Leopard knowing that like he doesn't have to really take any sort of risks.
Yeah.
He'll have something on board and try to wideboard even more.
Right. And Gabe does end up taking it. Because the last security was a Gabu. So AJ and I both had the same feeling. It was just like, man, we run a ton of options and every single time our securities is like Gabu. Guru. Gabu.
I don't know. No. Not in my match with AJ today. Dude, his security, I swung into his security with an Omni X and I flip it over, reveal it. It's 4 options.
Oh god.
I get rid of my Digimon. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I just lose.
But I think we were talking about this earlier too, like in between matches. Like I think we're both like sort of not at a loss, but like very like, how did Beelstar take Japan by storm? Because like technically we're running it at what JP would be running at, like at full force, like the full Gabu engine. Like yeah, we were missing the Eismon scatters, but like everything else, like we have what they had, and like I feel like this deck is just like, I
feel that it's very inconsistent. When it's working, it feels very, very powerful.
Yeah.
But when you get into a situation like with what AJ saw earlier, where he did not find he didn't find rookies, he was stuck without level 5s. He had to play 7 cost options to get rid of to just basically put stuff back into his opponent's hand.
Yeah.
I'm sure that like net him memory, but you know, he didn't actually get rid of it.
Yeah.
It just feels kind of bad. Like you can't 1-for-1 your opponent. In the same, like with a lot of meta decks.
Yeah, and I think we see another instance here where AJ, we were talking about this too, where like he wanted to utilize the Gabu X for the search, as opposed to digivolving it in the back. I agree, there's definitely some utility to like just throwing it out there for the search, but at least my experience with the deck, like not having the battle protections is rough. So if you can find a way to guarantee your stack, whichever stack you do end up pushing out, to give it the battle protections, you want that, because like a lot of your damage is coming through the Guru engine. And if you have a stack with Guru that like doesn't protect itself, you're just in a hole. Like here, I almost would argue it might be better to just digivolve into the Gabu X in the back, so that your stack, when you push it out, if you have a Guru, can at least protect itself once.
Yeah, I think it's dependent on what you want the deck to do, but yeah, especially with purple base, sometimes you just want the stack to live.
Yeah.
And utilizing two Gabu X's just for search. Sometimes your search turns up, like with what AJ saw. It was like 3 options and then 1 Guru card.
Yeah.
He had to pitch a card anyway, which is something you want to do. But then you don't have that Gabumon next turn.
Right.
Just live and put resources underneath.
Yeah. So Terria was able to swing over the Gabu X because it did get the DP buff from the egg.
Yeah,
we see Gabe go into a Leopard X.
Yeah, Leopard X from Leopard is huge because he gets to, when digivolving, play something for a reduced cost of 3, and then or 3 or 4, and then reduce it by another 3 if there's a Leopardmon or X-Antibody underneath.
Correct.
So he plays a 7 cost for free, puts a 7 cost back in raising.
This is very this is what Leopard wants to do, which is basically like build into this big stack and start playing stuff out for free, because a lot of like the on-play stuff as well, like your level 5s and your level 4s that you can play out with that effect have a lot of on-plays as well that can kind of do things. There's also some like on-play lets you play out another body, so like there's definitely a lot of ways to just like build a board with this deck, which is kind of crazy.
And he uses the Leopard X once per turn. So I believe, I don't remember if it's bottoming or returning a card to hand, but you can return a card with 5k or less, or and then you add 3k for every other Digimon.
Right.
So it's just, he's doing everything he wants to do right now. And AJ, it seems like he's kind of stuck having to just defend against it.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of things in trash right now, but he doesn't have memory to go into
the level 5.
Level 5, and I think Leopard just gets rid of it.
Your best bet here is to like go into a level 5 and hope you have a Melga Ace in hand.
Yeah, I think his best bet probably would have just been to play a Death X if he had it, but I don't think it was in his hand. And right now he's just praying with that Ice Wall that
and stay alive for one more turn.
Stay alive for another turn.
But if Gabe finds a way to deal with the stack, then he's pretty much just like GG's.
Yeah.
Which.
So yeah, he uses Leopard X. He plays Digimon to just get rid of it.
God, he's got a Quartz in hand too. God Lord.
Yeah. He's gonna use it. He's the only person with things on field.
I think I mentioned this in another video too. I think one of the commentaries with TJ, but it's kind of interesting. And maybe AJ will appreciate this if he's watching it coming from One Piece. But with the new developers coming out, like I think it's very interesting to kind of see what the developers have sort of merged in terms of like mechanics. Because like in EX-5 and even like BT-14 too, like a lot of what we saw was like board presence, and like we see that again in BT-15 as well. Is like board presence is sort of like a big thing. Like put out bodies, be able to swing like multiple like swings in one turn and like put pressure on your opponent. Which is what we see in One Piece, and which is what we see in the new Dragon Ball game as well.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're starting to like say like, ooh, like this is a good idea, and like try to like merge sort of like mechanics and card games, which I think is an interesting concept. Because like the Leopard X that they've designed here is very much reminiscent of like the green film deck in One Piece, which the idea is to go into like a big body, start spitting out bodies, which then allows you to spit out more bodies at a reduced cost. And this is like exactly what Leopard is doing too, as we see Gabe just chip away at security.
It's a very cool strat. Yeah, and Gabe just played it pretty patient, just put out more bodies than Beelstar can deal with. Beelstar can deal with one body at a time usually, unless they're 7 cost or lower, and you have to have the Gavalt in your hand.
The one of.
Yeah, or the Harpy. But even then, you still have to, all their lowest DP has to, it has to be the same. Otherwise, you just don't get enough value from it. There's no really big board clear in Beelstar, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think good showing from both players. Shout out to AJ for making it up to the first, for his first locals. And then, shout out to Gabe too. I know he's been like looking forward to like playing this deck and like cooking with it, and he was really excited to play it. So it was nice to see him kind of put some game time into it, at a local. So
yeah, I think he showcased what the deck can do.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. If you're new and you enjoy what you're seeing on this video and other videos that you've seen before, please do feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to us. We're constantly trying to find new ways to improve the channel and kind of grow with you guys. So if there's anything else you want to see, please do let us know. By the time this video hits, BT15 will be just around the corner, and we'll be starting to see some pre-releases. So we will be probably doing some box openings of some of the guys who have boxes or cases, like the degens that we are. And we'll also be doing some like sort of meta previews where we kind of highlight some of the big decks that are going to be seen in BT15. Because believe it or not, I guess there's going to be one event before the ban list comes into play. It's like an Ultimate Cup, so it has no like national implications or like regional implication, but I mean, it's an Ulti Cup. It's going to be standard set, standard rules, standard construction. Prizing's going to be really nice. So, like, that's going to be at the end of February. So, definitely a good idea to, if you're going to be participating in something like that, be read up on BT15. So, check out those videos when they come out. Thank you guys for always tuning in and showing us your support. We appreciate every one of you. And we'll catch you on that flippy flip. Bye-bye.
Catch you on the flippy flip. Bye.